Well, welcome back to the Brezhnev incident campaign. This one's going to be mission 3, and I figured it was worth showing the briefing for this one because this mission is quite different from the last two since it's principally a ground attack, close air support type mission. You can read the entire briefing if you want to, but the long and short of it is that Georgian forces are more or less flanking our frontline positions by coming through the mountains, and we need to fly a strike against an artillery unit in the mountains, more or less. So, as said here, it would have been preferable to send an Su-25 flight for this task, but our units are already engaged in the Gali-Reich line. And with the conflict in Afghanistan, which one figures that at this point in time most of the operational Su-25s would probably be in Afghanistan, so the MiG-21s are being called upon, even though they're not necessarily made for it, but the MiG-21bis does have decent ground attack capability. Its gyro gun sight, combined with using the radar, it can deliver bombs and rockets surprisingly accurately if you do it right. And also, we're on our own for this one. No wingman, since the other aircraft suffered a compressor failure during a test run. Also, perhaps the squadron being minus one MiG-21 after a certain individual had to stuff it into Sukhumi with half the wing missing. But this is also our third mission on December 12th, 1981, so busy day. Also meant there was no time for me to drink all the vodka within a 5-kilometer radius after the slightly near-death experience in the last mission, so. Also, we were definitely not expecting to encounter those L-39s providing cap in the previous sortie. We can expect more of those, so make sure to deal with the artillery units and head back to our base ASAP. So, Flight 25, once again, Su-25s are going to be at the main front line engaging enemy armored units, so that's nothing special, but we should contact an artillery unit at the front line once we get to Sukhumi is one thing that we'll have to remember, and also to expect plenty of anti-aircraft defenses in the form of Su-23s, Manpads, IFEs. So, what I think I'm probably going to try and do is make this a one-pass haul-ass type of attack, fire all my rockets in one go, dumping flares like crazy, and then get the hell out of there and back to base before anything bad happens, and also anticipate possibly coming under attack. Our equipment is, let's see, got bombs and rockets. Might have to make 2 passes then. And no air-to-air missiles, so not in a position to dogfight should we come under attack. So that's pretty much the situation for Mission 3, and I'll see you probably on the runway. And here we are, taxiing to runway 33 rather than 15 this time, since I guess maybe the winds have shifted since this morning. Not inconceivable. The Su-25 flight will be taking off ahead of us, so we may have to hold short for just a little bit. But hopefully not for too long, and then we'll be heading out to the Sukhumi Arc Station again and then turning east. I'll run through the navigation items for this mission probably once we're in the air, or if we're sitting at the hold short line for too long. But in principle, it's fly out to the same first waypoint as before and then turn east into the mountains and get in contact with the ground forces to get our necessary tasking for our little close air support mission. I have also made some slight adjustments to the graphics settings since the previous 2 missions, so it's a little bit less potato graphics now, but still not great, I guess. Once again, I blame 2.5.6. Seems pretty much everyone experienced some performance decreases as a result of that, but what are you gonna do? Slightly longer taxi out to 33, and also the mountains are off the end, so you have to turn away at some point. But also makes it a little bit easier to fly a straight-in approach when we're coming back, which I may consider doing rather than joining any kind of circuit. Our armament, as mentioned before, is bombs on the outer pylons and rockets on the inner pylons, so we are probably going to end up making 2 attack runs, one with the bombs and one with the rockets, obviously. I've got the gun sights set up for bomb drop for the moment, so we'll probably do that first and then try and mop up whatever's left with the rockets. I make no guarantees as to my accuracy with either of them, but like I said, when used properly, the MiG-21 can be reasonably accurate in the employment of both. And one last little turn, and both of the 25 seem to be rolling pretty much right away, so we should be able to do more or less an immediate takeoff. I'll just double check all my before takeoff items, and we'll lock the nose wheel once we line up. Gear is, or not gear, flaps are set for takeoff. We can unlock the gear handle fixator though, and I think we're probably good to line up and hold for the, well, 25 are already in here, we should be fine. I'll just line up before you've cleared me because, like I care, and we're cleared anyway, so. There we go. Okay, lined up, lock the nose gear, and here we go. Oh. No, I'm not going to drop my bombs now, since that's what it seems to be giving me the cue for. 300. Come on. Ooh. A little more sluggish today. We got a heavy airplane. Gear up. Flaps up. Gear. Got 3 lights. Neutral. Turn the fixator back on. I'm going to get a little more speed before I pull her out of burner. And also turn away from the mountains would be nice. And we'll make our little turn to fly down the coast. And once we get a little bit of altitude, we should pick up that Sakumi arc station. I'll just verify that it's actually set up for it. Should be, unless I'm forgetting something, which is a frequent enough occurrence. Oh, no, there it goes. Okay, we'll fly the needle. Probably climb to 5,000 meters or so on the way. I'll start my bomb run reasonably high so we can get lined up well enough. But if I dare go into the map while still hand flying, if we pull up our little intended route of flight, my notes for this mission specify the navigation items as once we pass over Sakumi, turn to a heading of 080 for 50 kilometers, and then we should be able to spot what we need to and get in contact with our ground forces down here. Let's go back into the cockpit before I screw something up. So that's pretty much it. I'll probably come back once we're either passing over Sakumi or possibly even getting a little closer to the target if nothing of interest should happen between now and then. Alright, we passed over Sakumi a few minutes ago and turned east. Friendly forces are down there, and there's some smoke coming up, so there's obviously been a fight going on. I do have to make the unfortunate confession that this is my second attempt at recording this, and that I have had to revert to the potato graphic settings, since on the previous attempt there's just far too much stuttering happening down low, especially during the bomb run, which no one wants to see. So we're approaching the target at about 4,000 meters. Typical, I guess, bomb run profile for the MiG-21 is to dive from about 3,000 meters, but it will, wow. The target's going to be a ways above sea level, so I figured a little bit of an extra margin would be good. Going to switch our tactical drop on, double check that we're all set up for bombing. Air to ground mode, stations 3 and 4, which are the outer ones. Gun sight is in launching, bombardment, and automatic, and is also in gyro mode. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use the radar and fixed beam for bombing. Apparently one should use it for rocket attacks though, so at the very least we'll do that. Double check that our flares are working. Yep. Because we'll be wanting to put out lots of flares on this attack, since apparently we can anticipate shoulder launch SAMs down there. Are there any targets that look particularly solid, like they're going to warrant, oh dear, that's a stutter, bombs to eliminate them? I think the close group there. Okay. Well, once we're past this cloud, I will roll in. Hold on, here we go. First round of flares. And we gotta be careful not to pull too many G's on the pull out so we don't rip our rockets off their stations. Come on, line up. And as soon as we see the reticle, put it on the target, and off we go. Another round. Bombs away! Not too many G's. Lots of flares. Ah! Soldier M4, Georgia. Well, the M4 hasn't been invented yet, but okay. It entered service in 1993, I believe, and then only with the US at that time, but what do I know? So we will climb away and SAM launch. Nope, that's just a river maybe. Anyway, lots of flares. And set up for our rocket attack. So for that, let's see. I want to be in VIF mode. Other than that, everything is pretty much the same for rockets. Let's see, in terms of our ripple quantity, we have 2 pods with, I'm not sure how many rockets. I'll do bursts of 8, should give us, I don't know if these are 16 or 32 on these pods, so we'll see how much that gives us. I guess we can't. A third attack run wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world. But I'll try and line up so we can fire a burst of rockets at each of the sort of clumps of targets, if that makes sense. Radar is definitely still in fixed beam mode. Climb a little bit. Try and make this a fairly steep pass. Whoop. Something's locking me up. I guess I should have my eyes peeled for enemy aircraft. Could just be the SAM sites over there-ish, though. Okay. Rolling in. Well, it's rolling from slightly higher. Like, about there ought to do it. And get our pepper on target. And rockets away. Flares are out. And we pull out gently, being careful not to pull too many G's. And I guess I didn't shoot at the second group, so we can set up for another run. And really keep our eyes open for any potential L-39s that might be assailing us. And crank around to make our next run. Seems like we still have that one pretty major clump of targets remaining. Well, we'll give it a burst of 8 rockets. In fact, why don't I give both of these things a burst of 4, something like that. And we'll give these lot 8, something like that. Fire off whatever we've got left. Flares are coming out. Ooh, we're a little low. Shouldn't have let myself get that low. Okay, all rockets are expended. Let's get the hell out of here. And get set up for air-to-air combat just in case as well. Well, I guess we've only got the gun for that, so whatever. We'll cage the gun sight though. And turn our radar off. Oh, actually, if we have AWACS coverage, that could be informative about any potential enemy aircraft, maybe? Ooh, yeah. Those look like aircraft over there. But realistically, I probably shouldn't be able to see, but still. Let's run. I'll whack in the ARC station for Gdowda, so we can fly directly there, hopefully, if we can pick up the station. We're gonna run and climb. And actually, I can ditch the rocket pods now that they're empty. And also jettison our centerline fuel tank now that it's empty. And yeah, they're not gonna catch me. And looks like we are picking up the arc station for Gdowda. Level off at 5,000 meters and run away at mil power, I guess. I'll just left slightly, then we can probably just make straight in on runway 33. Yeah, I think we're good. So no worries there. And I will shut off our pylons. Missiles and rockets. Yeah, pylon power, that's all good. That can all go off. Should still be able to use the gun with those turned off, just in case, but shouldn't really need that either. And that's probably about it for combat, hopefully. I can probably come back when we're into land at Gdowda. Alright, there's home up there. I contacted ATC recently. They gave us runway 33, and I'm probably just going to make straight in onto 33, and that'll be about it. Let's actually get the... well, we'll get the air brakes out later. Might as well do a reasonably fast descent. I actually flew all the way home at full throttle because we had so much extra fuel. I actually wanted to burn some prior to landing. We're still actually fairly heavy, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. Just run through some before landing items now. All our weapons are off. Shut the gun sight off because that'll just be a bit of a distraction. SAU can go into stabilization mode. That's pretty much it until we start getting gear and flaps out. We will hit the speed brake now and start losing speed since we're almost, well, getting pretty close to being lined up. I will do a little track IR adjustment as if to be putting my seat up for better visibility. And there we go. Speed's coming back nicely. Air brakes coming back in. And I'll turn off the markers just for aesthetic purposes. And we can press landing, probably. Ah. Okay. Cleared for landing, or posадку, on runway 33. Okay, I need to lose a little more speed to get the gear out here. Okay, come on, 500, and gear down. 450, flaps to takeoff. 400 flaps to landing, and trim. 350, whoop, don't let the speed drop too much. Always have to be careful about that. Even have a little shadow in the bottom right I can kind of reference there. And we're down. Parachute comes out. Double check that it really did, because sometimes if the... I think it's usually only if the aircraft's damaged, but I've had cases where it inexplicably didn't deploy. Anyway. And... probably decelerated sufficiently to drop it. Again, I hate dropping it on the runway, but with the way it pulls you around, there's pretty much no alternative, and, well, you've seen the taxi in and shut down before, so I'm probably content to end things here, so... oh, actually, the one thing I will check. Ooh, result 0. Actually, maybe I'll just double check that I don't need to do a, shut down in order to properly complete the mission, I will let you know about that. And there we go. After actually shutting down at the end of the mission, we do receive the result as having completed it in full, so I guess I did destroy enough out of what was there, so that's all good, and, well, now I definitely can sign off and say that I'll see you in the next mission, whatever that may bring, so toodles till then.